internet. Today I want to do my final check-in for the Diversity Bingo 2017 challenge. I uploaded 2 check-ins earlier this year and I will link them both down in the description, but I have read 4 books that went towards this challenge since I filmed my last check-in. So going along the bingo sheet, from the very first row going vertically, the second square, a main character with an underrepresented body, I read Dumplin by Julie Murphy for this challenge. I read this book back in September and I thought it was a lot of fun. It's about this girl named Willowdean Dixon who is like completely obsessed with Dolly Parton, and her mom has been a big part of this beauty pageant that takes place in her small town pretty much her whole life, and through a series of events she decides that she's going to enter the beauty pageant even though she is considered more of a fat girl. I really liked this book. It was so much fun. Willowdean really has a really positive view on her body and how she sees herself, and I thought that was just, it was so refreshing to read about. I thought it had really great fat representation, and I just really enjoyed this story. Skipping on to the second row vertically, in the second square, I read a book for a neurodiverse main character, Own Voices. And so for that I read Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. This is his newest book, and it deals with a main character who suffers from OCD and anxiety, and it's an Own Voices book for the OCD representation. I read this back in October, and it's about a girl named Asa. Her and her best friend kind of go on this sort of, not really mystery, but they're trying to solve this mystery of this missing billionaire, and even though that plot wasn't as prevalent as just her thoughts and her dealing with her mental illness, but I really liked this book. This is definitely John Green's best work in my opinion. I don't really have OCD, but I do have anxiety, and I was able to relate to a lot of the anxiety thoughts that she had, and I really appreciated it for that reason. And I thought it was a really great book. Going over to the third row vertically, going down to the 5th square in that row, for an LGBTQIA+ main character of color, I read Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe by Benjamin O'Leary Signs. This was a really great book. It has a lot of awards, and for a good reason. This is a book that's been on my radar for a while, that I really wanted to read for a while, and I'm so glad that I finally did. It's a YA contemporary about Ari and Dante who end up just forming this beautiful friendship, and it's kind of a coming of age story. It's also an Own Voices book, and I really loved it. I get why a lot of people love this book now. I read it back in September as well, and I actually listened to the audiobook for this one because it's read by Lin-Manuel Miranda, and he did a fantastic job, of course, and I highly recommend this book and the audiobook both. And the last book I want to talk about in today's check-in, if you go over to the 5th row vertically, the very first square, for an Indian main character Own Voices, I read When Dimple Met Rishi by Zendaya Menon. This is a YA contemporary about a girl named Dimple who is very science savvy, and she wants to go to this summer program, kind of a STEM camp, but her parents are more concerned about her finding a husband or someone to potentially become a husband. So her parents end up scheming with Rishi's parents and are going to set them up at this camp. Rishi does know about this, and he thinks that Dimple knows about this, but Dimple has no idea this is about to happen, and chaos ensues. This was such a cute contemporary and just so different. I really loved being able to read about someone else's culture. I feel like I learned a lot, but I also feel like I got just a really cute story, a really cute fluffy contemporary, which is what I was looking for. And I think that this contemporary deserves all the hype it's been getting. I read this back in August, and I highly recommend it. So that's all I have for this final check-in for Diversity Bingo. Let me know down in the comments how you did for Diversity Bingo if you participated last year. I ended up completing 21 of the 36 squares, which I feel pretty good about, even though I would have liked to have done better. But that's okay. I'm still going to continue to be reading all kinds of diverse books in 2018, so it's all good. And that will be it for this video, and I'll see you guys next time with another video. Bye!